You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Not quite my tempo. Sorry. Are you a pusher? Or are you a dragger? Or are you gonna be on my fucking time?
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Welcome aboard. How's it going?
Hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Moviesucktastic, Oscar edition.
That's right. Tell me you could hear the audio I got coming in.
I mean, what we just played?
Everything.
Yeah, I can hear it all.
Oh,
We're
good.
We're good.
Excelente.
And what I heard was the trailer to the movie Whiplash, which is up
That's
for
right.
Best Picture and a few other things. I believe Best Original Screenplay.
Yes, it is.
And what's his name up for an Oscar for Best Actor or Supporting Actor? J.K. Simmons.
The winner, which will be J.K. Simmons, is up for Best Supporting.
Fucking shit.
Take it to the bank.
I just want to, and we'll be reviewing two films this week that are coming up as Best Picture Oscars, Oscar nominees, blah, blah, blah. This, Whiplash and Birdman, both films with a drum soundtrack, and both about the individual striving for greatness through their art, which
right.
was almost totally accidental when we chose to pick these two together. So,
Well, we've been trying to get them, the pictures that we review now that we're doing 2 a week for the Oscars. We're trying to kind of coincide them a little bit. And I love. Is that dirty or is that clean?
that's clean. That's dry.
Oh,
Clean.
yeah?
Sure.
Nice clean martini. Let me tell you, whenever I hear jazz, I'm not a jazz guy in the least. But whenever I hear it, it always makes me want to go to like a top shelf bar and just overpay for alcohol. I don't know why. It just makes me want to get dressed up, go to a top shelf bar, have a ridiculously amazing meal, and drink overpriced alcohol.
You know what makes me want to drink overpriced alcohol?
What's that?
Cheap alcohol. Now,
Let me pull up the Oscar nominees.
I mentioned when we first talked about doing all the Oscar films, and I think you agreed that unlike past years where it's been a lot of shit, it's like why especially now that they bumped it from 5 to up to 10. This I was very impressed with the lineup this year. Like a lot of stuff that's like, oh, not only even if I don't want to see it, it looks like it's a good film. A lot of positive stuff, and this is my favorite week so far because Whiplash, I thought was a great film.
I loved it. I really did. I loved it.
I came away from that film thinking of American Sniper.
How so?
Because with American Sniper, there's all this stuff about, he kills, he's killing, and this and that, and the undertone of death, and the murder, and this tension, and the horrors of war, and never really feel it. I mean, I personally, it's like, I get the theme, we know we've been here. An hour into this film, I'm wishing somebody had a gun.
Right.
I was like, there is. I think I would probably. It's like, who do you want to swap places with? I don't know. Iraq doesn't sound so bad at right now. This is fucking insane. It's just.
What's interesting?
JK
Oh yeah.
Is fucking.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah, I mean.
I watched this with friends of ours, are musicians. One of them actually has a doctorate in trumpet, and
It's impressive, but it sounds silly. I'm not.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm not knocking having a doctorate in anything, but just saying doctorate. I'm sure there's a better name for it than what you just said.
I'm sure it's like
I'm sure it's not
trumpeteering or
he's
whatever.
Got a doctorate. He's a doctor trumpeter.
Yes, we call him. We call him doctor. Just Dr. Bolton.
See, that's if you're a doctorate, it involves trumpets. I don't call you doctor unless I like you, and
Well,
that's not.
We do it to poke fun, but also to be respectful all at the same time.
You know what? Actually, I take that back. If I knew someone had a doctorate for trumpet, I would definitely call them doctor. Yeah, no, I take that back.
Well, you've actually met these people. They've been at a bunch of our gatherings.
Oh, were they one of the ones I liked?
Yes, actually.
Cool. All right.
So anyway, we watched this film with them, and they, because they know the ins and outs of just about everything that's going on in this movie. So it was actually pretty cool to watch a movie like this with someone that knows their shit. And one of them was, just like at the end of the film, just like white knuckle. It's like if they're getting that way, then they did something right. Yeah. But also watching this film with them, it's like, yeah, that person's not playing. That person's pretending to play. That person actually knows how to play. It's like, stop it. You're ruining the effect. I'm not a musical person. I like music, but I don't play an instrument. Maybe a little guitar in the past, but nothing serious. So it's like, you don't do that. You're ruining it for me.
But and this is one of those films where, I mean, again, I actually have jazz has grown on me in the past like 5 years or so, and I actually I couldn't like name jazz players for you. I just know I like the sound of it. Right. Pandora will play it for me occasionally. But nice. I don't know. I'm not into music. My thing is films and literature. I don't know much about music. So this isn't like it's like sports films. Not the sports films. But when you see one that's good, it doesn't matter if you're not into it. It's just a good movie. And this, you cannot give a shit about music in the least. And that's not what this film is about. And okay, if music completely bores you, maybe some of the music sequences are going to bore you a bit, but there's such a dynamic with the characters. This is really, Miles Teller, who plays Andrew in the film, he was my exposure to him was in 21 and Over. I don't know if you even saw that one.
I never did.
It was like the okay, let's do another Harold and Kumar this year, that kind of thing, teen comedy, kids out drinking.
Okay.
And it really kind of underlined for me that like it's got to suck being like a teenager, like getting into the industry, because like you make it big. I'm going to be in films. And like, yeah, we're going to put you in this film. You're an asshole, alcoholic teenager who runs around making snide comments all that. So I mean, that's your exposure. Oh, now this is how the whole world sees me. So like transitioning, and that's not the only film he's done, but that's like what I saw him as. So transitioning from that to something like this, which is such an emotional character, emotional performance, frenetic.
Well, what's interesting about him? This is my first exposure to him at all. And then the only reason I even recognized him when I watched this was because I had actually seen the new Fantastic Four trailer. Excuse me, before I saw this. So, I that's where I first really saw him, was the Fantastic Four trailer, which is underwhelming. But I'm glad I saw him in this first.
Dude, look what is following.
Well, yeah.
He was in a film called The Musicians, which I never saw. Why else haven't I seen him? He was in Moonlighters. Oh, I definitely didn't see that. So whatever that is. Then he was in Footloose remake. Gee, guess what? Never fucking saw it. Then he was in Project X, where he was another drunk teenager. So I forget who he played in Spectacular.
When you're in your early 20s, that's the kind of work you're going to get.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be so hard to be a teenager, unless you look like a nerd, because then that's a whole different ball game. But just because you're going to end up playing these very stereotypical, very cliche roles, and for him to get into something as just something like this that just blows you away. His performance is just. I mean, I almost see his character practicing the drums, a parallel to how it must have been like for him to prepare for such an intense role.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just
I didn't do any homework on. Obviously, he just the fact that he's been in 3 movies where music is, you know, the subject of the film, the main plot. I would imagine that he's a musical person, or that he knew how to play the drums already, and just had to really just get into this role for the jazz part of it. Because when you watch him on those drums, I mean, he's doing everything. It's not like he's pretending to hit cymbals and drums, and he's doing it.
No, he was a drum player in originally. He played drums since he was 15.
Okay, so I mean,
And
obviously for a role like this, they're not just going to get somebody. You know, and the thing is too, he's got scars on his face. I'm assuming that's real, because it's not explained in the film.
No, those are real scars. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they? Again, I haven't read up much on him. Have they said how he got that?
I don't care enough to read up on that part. He has scars. Most people have scars. It's not like half his face is like, you know, it's not in the shape of Brazil or anything. So who gives a shit?
No, but there's prominent scars on his chin, 2 across the cheek, 1 on the neck. So it's like, I'd be interested to find out how that happened. Whether it's something stupid, something that he couldn't avoid. Okay. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. It was something that was brought up when we were watching the film, because they actually used it in the film in a couple of instances. Like when they're practicing, they go in. It's a 9 p.m. practice, and Fletcher is doing a round robin with all his drummers, and he says, "We're not leaving this room until one of you gets it right." And they show the progression of time from 9 to 11:30, and then he brings everyone in and says, "Okay, we can start." And then the next shot progression of time is it's like 2:12 in the morning, and they just show him like literally just dogging it, and the way the light hits his face, it's like you see every scar, and it works for the scene. It's like they didn't even try and hide the scars that much, because they just wanted to show how ragged he was being run by Fletcher's character in the film. So it's and again, J.K. Simmons, holy shit, I just cannot express enough. I just kept hearing a lot of a lot of hubbub about his performance, and that he's got it, it's guaranteed. It's his, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't have to see. I've seen almost all of the other best supporting actors. I haven't seen 2 of them. He's got it. I don't need to see them all. I know it. It's just something you feel.
Let me grab my list here. Best supporting actors. Supporting. I haven't seen The Judge or Foxcatcher yet, but
the only one I haven't seen, if I'm not mistaken, I believe is The Judge.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke. I like Ethan Hawke, but he's not winning shit for Boyhood. And Ed Norton for Birdman. I don't know.
He's good.
He's good, but
not for anything.
We'll talk more about that.
Not for anything. No, not for anything.
Not even for something.
No. I'm just saying, not for anything. His best perform.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Let's move on.
If it's not for nothing, continue.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So you have Ethan Hawke for Boyhood. That's a no. You have Mark Ruffalo for Foxcatcher. That's a no. Robert Duvall in The Judge, I heard, is very good, but I don't think good enough to beat J.K. Simmons.
Well, that's the only other one I haven't seen besides Foxcatcher, so I'll catch up on that.
And then Ed Norton in Birdman. He's good, but his performance in Fight Club, probably, if you take that secondary type character like that, it's a shame he never got nominated for that. But I would say that in that type of role is probably the best thing he's ever done, like that.
You lost me halfway through that sentence, but
why?
Because the last part was just this and that and the other, so I don't know.
What? I'm just saying, as a supporting acting role, Fight Club is probably the best thing he's ever done.
Okay,
Not
that makes sense. All right.
Not that anything else he's done isn't any good. I'm just saying
No,
Birdman
not for nothing.
ain't it. Keep it up. It's like I'm talking to one of my children.
And then for original screenplay, I mean, I think it's really going to come down to well, it's not up for original screenplay. I thought it was.
It's adapted isn't
screenplay. No, wait. I'm mistaken. I could have sworn I saw it for best original screenplay. My mistake. I read the sheets wrong.
Is it up for either? It's
No,
adapted.
it's not up for it. It is
was-
adapted. Sorry, that was
Fine,
my mistake.
okay.
It's up for adapted. So I mean,
What's it up against in adapted?
American Sniper. Fuck that.
No.
Imitation Game. Maybe. It was a good, decent film. Inherent Vice, which I have not seen yet, and I haven't read the book.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Theory of Everything. So I mean, I would love for as far as screenwriting craft. Having seen Imitation Game, American Sniper, Theory of Everything, and Whiplash, I mean, I want to go Whiplash just because it's very understated. There's a lot going on there that's not spelled out.
But Hollywood loves a love story, so they'll probably go Theory of Everything.
Yeah, they also like homosexuals, so the Imitation Game might. and really, I mean, the only one I didn't care for was American Sniper. That's the only one that definitely shouldn't get the screenplay.
Yeah, and I don't think Hollywood is the type to go, America, and then go give it to American Sniper.
All right, now,
especially because of all the allegations lately for Chris Kyle.
Right. Yeah, but they're not going to go against war films because don't forget they did do the Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
And what was the Hurt Locker but American Sniper but for smart people?
Well, yeah, but I think in this instance, they are in they are in the ballpark of it's nice to be nominated, and they're going to leave it at that. American Sniper probably isn't winning shit this year.
American Sniper only got nominated because it was very popular, and that's it.
Yeah, and it didn't actually start raking in serious cash until it went into a wide release.
Honestly,
in January.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sure I could pick like a dozen other films that were better written than that, and not because it was poorly written, not because it was poorly written, but just because there's so much better writing out there.
Oh yeah.
Whiplash, though, I get like the dialogue, but again, Whiplash has these. The movie itself, you could kind of take as a jazz number because it has these peaks and valleys, and there's like these quiet parts, and then there's these cacophony. I can't get the word right. There's like these violent moments, both visually and.
Say cacophony.
But I was trying to do a different form of it.
Oh, okay.
And I stopped short. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. And
yeah, this is a guy that couldn't say manipulative like 2 weeks ago, so
mm-hmm.
I think I tried it like 6 times on the air.
Yeah,
back in the old days, I would have edited it out, but fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. The film is very fulfilling for me too because the ending, it's not a clear ending. It's not a. No. I mean, it doesn't take much for you to decide who you what you consider right and wrong. They make J.K. Simmons a sympathetic character, but they don't. But they give you enough room to make your own decision on whether he's justified or not, and how he acts as a teacher, as a professor, as a band leader. Right. But they don't really leave any. They give you so much that you're able to say, okay, you know what? Even if you are philosophically correct, fuck that, no. And the only thing you're really following Miles Teller's character of Andrew, just with the struggle of how much do you take, what's worth it, what's not, trying to dedicate yourself to something. The film really pulls you into both characters. You don't see either as just a cardboard character cliche. There's really a depth to it that has you, even if you're solidly for one character and against the other, you understand both and you really connect with both at least on some points.
Well, I think what that ending does, like you just said, if you're either for one or for the other, at that ending really brings you in the middle between the two.
Well, Yeah, I think what the ending does, and we're able to talk about this without spoiling it, is that it really leaves you to, okay, who won this? Are there any withers? Or, it's ambiguous, but not in a bad way. It's not like Lost in Translation. Ooh, what did he say? I won't get started on that. But it's a good kind of ambiguous where, okay, there are no straightforward answers, black and white answers in life. This is where you have to, it's the kind of thing you talk about after the film.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just like an hour and a half of oh fuck you like a pig. It's character building and bringing up these questions of of whether or not you agree with these philosophies for either character, and what is there even a side to choose? Right.
No, and I wish we could talk about the ending, because I watched it twice. I liked it so much. Just everything about the ending I liked. Everything. And like I just really when the scene goes black, credits roll, it's not open-ended. It's not left for interpretation.
No,
you're not really well, kind of. I mean, you're not staring at the screen saying too much into, oh man, what happens next? You kind of know.
Well, you kind of
don't know for sure,
next.
but you kind of know.
Well, you know what happens next. Life goes on. At that point, a vision has been realized, and you can walk away from that and say both characters in one way or another were correct. The open-ended part of that is the debate of, what the fuck?
Was Fletcher wrong? Yeah.
Were either of them wrong? Was all this worth it? Is this is this the goal? And if it is it worth the journey? And what's after that? So I mean, yeah, it ends right there because they've hit that moment, and there might be moments after that. But I don't think it's a clear-cut ending. I mean, it's a clear-cut ending as far as like there's no like, oh, it's not like Karate Kid 2 after when they meet in the parking lot.
Karate Kid 2.
That's right. I compared it to Karate Kid, motherfucker.
Why did you do that? She literally breaks up with him like seconds after Karate Kid. When Karate Kid 2 opens, he's on a plane to fucking Shanghai? Not Shanghai.
Melissa,
where did he go?
Is Melissa... What?
I don't forget it.
Is Melissa Benoist up for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress? Please tell me she's not.
Ooh. I want to say that name is familiar.
No, she's not up for Best Supporting Actress.
Good, because what is she in this movie for? For like 10 minutes, if that?
Literally 10 minutes. She got top billing.
That's got to be in her contract.
Yeah, what the fuck? Really?
I've never seen her before.
I liked how little she was in the film, too. I like that. Oh, yeah, here's where she's fucked up.
Yeah, I like how he just says, I want to be the best ever, so I can't see you anymore. And that's probably wrong on his part, but that is the mental state that he put himself in because of how hard he wants to work for Fletcher.
Well,
and not to say that Fletcher put him in that position, because he didn't. He didn't tell him, listen, you got to practice, eat, sleep, drink this.
He
decided to do it.
Fletcher, though.
He does it for himself, but he also kind of wants to show Fletcher, yeah, I got it.
Well, but as a teacher-pupil kind of thing, but yeah, I mean, but then again, that's the question too. Who are you trying to please? And obviously, he's trying to please himself. He's trying to become, perfect. He's trying to be, that unobtainable goal of perfection as an artist. Arguably unobtainable, but lost my train of thought on that.
It's okay.
But Paul Reiser was great.
Oh yeah, he played his father. What's interesting about Paul Reiser's character, and it's something simple. I've never seen it done before, and when I saw it, I'm like, why have I never thought of that? The opening shot when he's with his son in the movie theater, and his son just pours Raisinets all in his popcorn, and I'm like, That's a great fucking idea.
Never
It's
heard
just,
that.
it has nothing. No. I mean, I've had popcorn that have had things like peanuts and things in it, but to be in a movie theater and just, let's say, pour like Reese's Pieces all in your popcorn. It's
an old thing. A lot of people do it with dots, too.
Fuck that. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. No, that's not. It's interesting that it's the first time you've seen it. I'm not criticizing you as a person, but
sounds like
that actually kind of shows like the era that his father's supposed to come from, and it's that difference between the older generation, because he doesn't even like it, and even that shows. I mean, that scene defines Andrew as a character too, as well, he tells him, "I don't like that." He said, "But you never said anything. How old are you? We've been doing this for so long." He says, "Yeah, I just eat around." Right there, this is fucking screenwriting. They are showing you what this character is. This character is a pleaser. This character is not somebody that makes waves. This is somebody that knows what they want, but they're not the kind of person to really, they're not a trailblazer. He's a meek person. He's not going to impose himself on somebody else. And then, that's such a great way. So even if you don't catch it, that puts that impression on you of this character. That and how he acts when he's around the girl. I mean, he maybe overplays it just a little bit with the meekness. In a lot of ways, you could like line his character up to Cumberbatch in
Imitation Game.
Damn it, I think I said his name right, and I didn't mean to. In the Imitation Game, where he's a very like almost Asperger's type character, very shy, avoiding eye contact, that kind of thing. But I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that moment, because that's one of those moments this underlines how great of a screenplay this is. Oh yeah.
Well, that's not what I was intending, but.
Oh no, I know, but that's why I say I'm glad you mentioned it, because it leads into that. I can't say I loved this film. I didn't. Again, I was watching it. I was gonna watch it eventually because I like J.K. Simmons. I mean, who doesn't? Jeez, he's in everything.
I've loved him since Oz, the show Oz on HBO, where he was a neo-Nazi white supremacist.
But he's one of those actors you can watch. Oh, I've seen his dick. Yeah, okay. Moving on. Moving on. It's not a film I would have gone to see. I would have seen it as quickly as if I would have seen it now, and I'm glad I did, because this was just. It's like Glengarry Glen Ross, but with music, and that's a horrible analogy. I should take that back. But it's just
that really, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
The Hawkman didn't like that one either. Last week, the Hawkman paid a visit to our show, and he's just in the background, kind of listening to what we talk about.
Can we explain who the Hawkman is? The Hawkman,
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking from The Theory of Everything. He made a guest appearance.
He made a guest appearance last week in the show. If you haven't listened to it, well, he's here, and he liked J.K. Simmons too. He did. So he actually has something to say about J.K. Simmons.
What?
J.K. Simmons is one badass motherfucker.
Well, we knew that, Stephen. Thank you.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
The Hawkman totally respects this Fletcher guy. He seems like he gets a ton of pussy.
Oh, it's so good. He's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
He just has so much to say.
The thing about Paul Reiser in the film playing Andrew's father is that it was so nice for somebody who spent a portion of their lives growing up watching him on Mad About You and all this bullshit. It was kind of refreshing to watch him not doing his shtick.
Oh yeah.
Not doing, that kind of like a Caucasian. Metaphors. My similes are just like flowing today, but it was like a cross between Jackie Mason and Seinfeld. What he would do. It's like, like what?
It's not my locker.
Yeah. Exactly. Like he did that all through Aliens, everything. It was always that same thing. It was so great to see him not do that. It's like, it's almost like he retired. It's like, I don't do that anymore. It's like Seinfeld. Yeah, I'm not funny anymore. I'm just.
Well, I think what broke him is last year he had the Paul Reiser show. It was on like one of the major networks, ABC, NBC,
I was not aware
CBS. Of that. It lasted one night. They canceled it after one night. I think they intended on canceling it no matter what. And unless the ratings were through the roof, they were going to cancel it. So I saw that one episode. I didn't think the show, it wasn't a great show, but I didn't think it was one night cancellation worthy. I mean, other shows, they go through an entire, half season for testing, and then they say, nah, we're not picking it up. One night.
So Chevy Chase's show lasted longer than Paul Reiser's.
Oh, you mean Community?
No, Chevy Chase's night show. Remember?
Oh God, that's right.
Yeah, Community. No, that's not his show. I'm talking about his show.
Yeah.
I mean, that lasted what, 6 episodes? I forget.
It didn't. I think it was. Usually, they always grant 6, and if it gets good ratings, they pick it up for another 6. Usually in their first season, 6 or 7, whatever it is, for 13.
Well, they can't
12,
do the second
13.
season; it'd be too late then.
The studio orders 6 episodes. They always do. If the ratings are good,
because with 6 you get egg roll.
They'll pick it up, and they'll push out another 6 or 7 for the same season.
Yep.
Yeah, keep it up.
But I mean, there's not much to say about Whiplash. Great performances all around, and if you're not in the music, you're still going to love this movie. Really,
absolutely, yeah.
And the ending is just it's a climax. It is a climax, and almost a climax that you're not expecting.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, the film does kind of. It's the J.K. Simmons character. He is such a manipulative, dodgy character that you do get glimpses into, like a soul or a heart behind this guy, but he always manages to crush that before you get too good of a look.
Oh yeah, the thing with J.K. Simmons' character, is
he wears tight black shirts.
He's in good shape for what, 60?
I wouldn't. I'm
not ashamed to say that. Just going back to his Oz days, I don't think he's ever been in anything I didn't like. Even the small supporting role he had in The Mexican with Brad Pitt, I liked.
Still haven't seen it.
Really? It's,
you know what?
Gore Verbinski before he was, The Ring and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've never seen it. I got halfway through the Lady Killers remake by the Coen brothers, and I'm not sure if I cared for that.
This is the one with Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah, I'm not. I never finished it, so but I can't say I cared for it too much. So that might be the one film he was in off the top of my head that I wasn't too thrilled. Now, Burn After Reading, I loved him. He was good in. Minor character again, still.
Right. Now, I love this film. Really. I really liked it.
I don't want to set a precedent.
I don't think 10. I think 9. I'd go 9.
Will not go lower than 9.
Definitely not lower than 9.
I can't think of a reason not to give it a 10, but I'm not going to fight you on it. I'll go 9.
No, I'm good with 9. I mean, 10 says perfect.
Here's one of the things that like the whole idea of IMDb and rating this stuff that I hate. It's number 38 now on IMDb.
Oh, really? 8.6, I believe it's currently at.
What?
I think it's 8.6 on
yes.
IMDb. How many votes?
Yeah, so
I forget.
93,000. So it's
all right.
It's in the top 250. It's number 38. That's out of all the films ever.
Well, it's in its early stages. It's going to drop.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, okay, the popularity's there, so the numbers are high and everybody's high. But it's it's number 38 out of all the films ever. How do you even equate that? It's just an odd thing. When you actually run, it's like, okay, this is the popularity, this is the proper order. That's why when people ask me, like, what's your favorite film? Shit, I'm not going to limit it down to one. I'll give you like my top 10 in each genre, maybe. I'll give you like a smattering. But how do you say, oh, this is the number one film? How do you say this film's number 38 when it just came out this year and we have like a century of the majority of our film history, like a century of movies?
Exactly.
How do you do that? But I'll go with you and hit 9, which probably jump it up to 36 There's 37, which makes even less sense.
Well, we'll look at it in 6 months. Guaranteed in 6 months, it'll probably be hovering around 8.1, and it'll have a lot more votes. It'll probably still be in the top 250, but maybe like in the lower, maybe 200, 225.
That's why it still feels so arbitrary to me. That's all.
Yeah.
So we're with the popular vote here. 33% is the highest amount for 9.
Okay.
And then our demographics, the highest demographic is tied, 9.3 for males and females. No, sorry, it's not tied. I read it wrong. Males under 18 gave it the highest at 9.3.
Right.
The lowest is males 45 and older, 8.3. And it's weird. There's a steady slope in the demographics here. The older you get, the less likely you are to think it's a great film.
The older
it's
you
like
are.
The older you are, the younger people, 9.3. Under age 18, 9.3. Over 45, 8.3. It's only 1 point, but It's like a steady. It's a steady curve.
That's a lot, though. It's a lot.
It's weird. It's like the older you get, you're like, fuck that kid. Maybe he should be working at a deli. I don't know.
Maybe Jazz is fucking dead, like me inside.
Yeah, that grumpy old man. And I just find it interesting that you have the highest amount of votes amongst a generation that hasn't really been exposed to jazz.
No, but you know what? The younger generations are really.
I say that.
I bet a lot of it is they're into music, they're in band. It's just I have a feeling that's the way that's going with that.
But it's funny because I say that that younger generation that's never really been exposed to jazz. My generation was never exposed to the jazz.
Yeah.
There was not a jazz peak in the 80s. We never. I mean, the most you had was when swing became popular for a year and a half. We didn't have a jazz era, so I don't know why I'm talking like, they didn't have the exposure. We didn't either. Jazz kind of died with like disco.
Might have died longer than before that.
Well, but that probably final nail on. I'm just saying for American culture. I'm not saying the art form or anything itself. I'm not knocking jazz.
Jazz, all that jazz.
All that jazz. Oh, let me start on that. But so that's it. 9 stars, and definitely a contender for Best Actor and Best Adapted Screenplay. And
definitely.
What do you think for Best Picture? I don't think so. Do you think?
Now,
according to
since I haven't seen Selma, I haven't seen Imitation Game, but from what I have seen, I still go Grand Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go Birdman. We'll review that next. Then I'd go this.
Really?
That would be my top 3.
Now, according to IMDb, and I don't have the numbers to prove this, it says it has the lowest budget of any film ever nominated for Best Picture.
Really?
That's what it says. I don't know if that's true.
$3.3
somebody wrote
million.
it as a fact. Somebody wrote that fact down, and IMDb published it. Doesn't mean it's real, but that's what I saw. It was a very low budget film, and they shot it in like what, a couple weeks?
Yeah,
it was like 12, 16 days. They shot it in no time.
And previously, I believe the lowest budgeted film that has nominated and won was The Hurt Locker with, I think it was 15 million or less. It was something like between 8 and 15 million. I think it was in that range.
What's the budget
it might be
on this?
right. 3.3.
What's the budget on Whiplash?
I remembered it being 3.3 million.
Right, and this was a film they couldn't even get funding for the film, so they did a short film and they won some Sundance or something like that, and then with that they got the funding to make the film.
Wow.
So this is a movie no one wanted to make besides the people making it, which is
love
usually
to
a
see that
sign.
short film.
That's usually a sign it's a good film. If Hollywood won't bite it, it's like, who wants to watch a kid drumming for an hour and a half? Holy shit, they're probably.
Wouldn't it be funny? And I don't know what I don't know what the name of the short film is, but is it nominated for Best Short Film this year?
No, that would be hilarious, but no, that would be double jeopardy.
I would love that.
See, now you have me looking because I don't have the answer. You know, if that was the case, we would have heard about it by now. Someone would have mentioned it. It
would have been that it's up for Best Picture and Best Short Film. So you're right, it probably isn't.
Oh, and also no black actors or actresses nominated for this film.
No.
No.
Although one of them was told that he shouldn't What did he say? Don't come early. It's not your boyfriend's dick. It's
Fucking,
it's great. J.K. Simmons, it's great.
That's it. Yeah, I guarantee. Who's hosting the Oscars this year?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, thank God. All right.
Should be fun. Should be fun.
Yes, it should.
The scene that's on right now is the dinner scene where he's at the dinner table with the two jocks.
I rewound that because that was
it was
you know
great.
what? And that's what I was talking about. With this film has these peak because you have all these scenes where like this kid's not talking or he's very very meek and then like all of a sudden you'll get into this and all the dialogue's slow, methodical, then violent, then slow, and then you hit this dinner scene and all of a sudden you get this kind of rapid fire wit going back and forth. You're not prepared for it.
Right.
And it's like, holy, just when you get into the swing of it, like it stops, and now you're back to like just like him like watching drums on his phone, and this film has that kind of. This film has the silence in between the notes.
Right.
It's really this film. That's a thing. This movie is a jazz film in some ways. So definitely, even if you after you watch this, you might even like start listening to it. I guarantee like jazz is up like 200% on Spotify or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, right. The two jocks, I mean, they totally bombard his achievements, like, because he's genuinely being asked, like, what he's doing, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing this and that, and then they just jump in and, like, it's like, yeah, we're great, we're jocks, we're doing this, and then the father is saying how awesome they are, too, and at one point, it's, what does the one of them say? It's like, come play with us. He's like, yeah, that's 4 words you'll never hear from the NFL.
Yeah. And again, it's a scene. It's comic relief. It's humor, and it's a change of pace in the film. It's a nice up tempo, but at the same time, this film it highlights how alone this person is as a character, where nobody understands what he's trying to do. Nobody, and even when he like gets up the nerve to explain what he's trying to do, no one gets it. No one understands it. No one's really supporting him to an extent. So I mean. He's all he has, and this teacher who's, pushing him, even though he's just, emotionally abusing him, he's the only one that gets it.
Totally.
Yeah. So I mean,
and that is why he goes and he breaks up with his. I don't even know if they're boyfriend girlfriend, but whoever she is to him, he goes and he breaks up with her because he's in. And
that's not a spoiler alert because it's in the fucking trailer.
Oh, As a matter of fact, it's a big part of the trailer. It's prominent. It sets up. It's like, listen, I want to be the best, and you're not gonna allow me to do that. So I'm ending it now.
It's what her scene in the trailer is 1/5 of her role in the entire film.
It really is. It really is.
I guess they just had to put her in there so it wasn't like a sausage fest.
Well, yeah, you gotta have some estrogen in there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Estrogen.
Yes.
All right, so we should go ahead and then end the show then.
Yeah, and we'll move right into
Birdman. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and end the show. And as a matter of fact, the Hawkman wants to end the show for us.
Oh, does he?
Yes, he does. So let's go ahead and let him do that.
Sing it,
Hawkman wants to thank you for joining us at Moviesucktastic. You can go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. You can download all our shows there. Listen using the player or watch the show live at livestream.com/Moviesucktastic. You can go to iTunes and download or listen to all of our shows there as well. Don't forget to leave a review. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. If you want to email us, the address is themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. You can do a search online using your favorite search engine. Scott likes Google.
Google it!
Just do a search for Moviesucktastic and you'll find everything I just mentioned. Don't forget to get the free Android app for your phone or tablet. Everything is on there and it's free, bitch. Hawkman out.
It's free what?
It's free, bitch.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he's not the most articulate. He's all twisted up and shit. So
I thought
you
he
know.
said free veg. I was like, we don't do that. I don't want to say that.
Yeah, he's all twisted up. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get the hell out of here. I don't think I'll be letting the Hawkman chime in anymore. He's just not good at this. So anyway, you got any words of wisdom there?
Oh, fuck you like a pig.
Yeah. What are you, one of those one-tier guys? All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
There's ringtones coming with that bitch.
Oh, yeah. You know it.